Before I start today's video, make sure to retweet the tweet linked down below so that THQ Nordic can see this video and see the flaws that are still in Rehydrated that they really need to address before they really consider broadening it and bringing it to more platforms. So definitely check out the tweet down in the description down below, retweet it, and tag THQ Nordic. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. What is up, guys? It's Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be talking about SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini on Rehydrated again, because the mobile game is actually coming out tomorrow. Yes, the mobile game that got announced a couple weeks ago is officially coming out tomorrow. Let me know down in the comments down below if you want me to try the game out and tell you guys what I think. But the more and more I've thought about this mobile port, I'm actually starting to get a little more upset about it. Mostly because of the fact that now they're making this new version for people to buy that might even be better than the Switch version for all we know. But the Switch version is still kind of bleh. So I wanted to do a video today compiling a bunch of issues with the Switch version and kind of outlining them and showcasing them to you guys, and more so to THQ Nordic, so that they really know what needs to be fixed. If there are any other issues or bugs that you come across, put them down in the comments down below, but I suggest you watch the whole entire video before you do that, because, you know, some people might comment something that might actually be in this video. And of course, these are mainly focusing on the Switch issues, but some of the issues in this video may be present on other consoles and PC as well. So keep that in mind as watching the video as well. This isn't just specifically Switch issues. Some of these issues might encompass all of the different platforms. So, without any further ado, guys, let's get talking about Rehydrated and, well, a lot of the problems it has still. So this video is going to be structured a little bit differently. I'm actually going to say the problem that I have, you know, like a total of 10, and then I'm going to showcase it. So I'm going to talk about it and then show it. So the first one I really want to talk about is a big one. Now, the recent update actually made a huge problem in Rehydrated. I don't know if this is a problem because of the recent update, but that's the thing that's made me notice it. Now, if I start up the game and just play Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated regularly, as you can see in downtown Bikini Bottom, the textures run pretty well. But then, once I go to Sand Mountain and then go back to downtown Bikini Bottom or anywhere else in the game, the textures turn to crap. Now, I don't know why this happens, but it just happens. Whenever I visit Sand Mountain, everywhere else the textures are muddled. The textures are usually fine before I go to Sand Mountain, and then once I leave Sand Mountain and go back to any other level, the textures become crap again. So this is something they really need to fix, because that would basically make the latter half of the game have rough textures, right? You know, you have to go to Sand Mountain on your run, so after Sand Mountain, all the textures are going to be muddled in, you know, SpongeBob's Dream, Kelp Forest, Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, the Industrial Park, the Chum Bucket, everywhere. That's a huge problem, you know? So I'm going to showcase the issue separately here, and, you know, you'll see what I mean.
Just my size!
Now, another bug that there is, I'm going to showcase here, is with Sandy. Now, all characters obviously have a double jump and a sound effect associated to the double jump. And Sandy's is no different, you know, she has a sound effect when she jumps. But if she uses the lasso and uses the Texas signs, sometimes after you jump off the Texas signs, the double jump sound doesn't work. I'm going to showcase that right here. So yeah, I think that's kind of a problem, you know, it's kind of inconsistent. Like, apparently at the end it worked once, but, you know, when I do the double jump after using the Texas sign, it doesn't work properly, so I think that's something that needs to be fixed. Something that's been a problem since the very launch of the game, the very beginning of the game, that still hasn't been fixed, is that if you're in Jellyfish Fields, specifically the second half of Jellyfish Fields, and you buy the toll gate, you know, the mandatory toll gate just past that big wall of tikis and those 3 hammers, so that costs a certain amount of shiny objects, but if you die after you buy the, you know, the gate toll, you lose shiny objects as if you're buying that gate again. And I'll showcase that here, putting an emphasis on the number of shiny objects I have before I die, and then pointing to the number of shiny objects I have after I respawn. So here's this.
Tartar sauce!
It's not a really big issue, but particularly for people who maybe are speed runners who want to collect as many shiny objects as possible. I remember Shift was doing this as a way to quickly get shiny objects. It was a real pain for him because he kept losing shiny objects every time he died. So this is a pretty big issue. I hope they fix it. This next point is actually kind of 3 points in one. The slide at the very end of Jellyfish Fields. There are loads of issues with this. Firstly, this is something I can just quickly show you here. The fog in this part is absolutely terrible. You cannot see anything down the slide. It's like everything's like just completely covered in fog. Like the fog, I get it, you know, there are some things like Sand Mountain, and you have to have a bit of fog, you know, to kind of reduce having textures to load, whatever. But that's just ridiculous. The amount of fog that there is in that section is just absolutely ridiculous. But also, I noticed this while playing yesterday, I was having trouble with Hans. Hans did a really weird glitch, and I was trying to recreate it, and I actually did. So here's a recreation of the Hans glitch I experienced yesterday. Like, what the heck was that? Like, that's just like, no. They really need to fix Hans. This is just more than just that glitch. Hans in the whole entire game is just weird, doesn't work, and it's completely ridiculous that, like, I mean, maybe it's something very specific. They can't get Hans to work it like he did, but I don't know. It's just really weird, and I hope they do something with Hans. And the last little thing here with the jellyfish slide is that there's this weird lighting glitch I encountered on the curtain, on that curtain with the peanut butter. Anytime I turned, the light would be really weird on it. I don't know how to explain it. Obviously, you're seeing it right now, so you kind of get what I mean, but yeah, it's just like little things like that that just kind of like take you out of the experience, and it's just, I don't know. I really hope they fix that. Alright, so next up is Goo Lagoon. I had 3 problems here as well. The first one actually is a really kind of interesting one. Now, obviously, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy have certain lines to when certain events happen. And SpongeBob has a line that says, "Time for a little sleepy sneak," something like that, whenever he's near a sleepy time robot. But that line actually happened when he was near a monsoon robot. Let me play that for you.
Time for a little sleepy sneak.
I know that's such a minor thing, but it really struck me, because whenever I hear that, I immediately think of the Sleepy Time robot. So I was really confused on why I was hearing that in Goo Lagoon, so I just thought I'd put that in there. Also, of course, the synonymous, really loud shine noise of the light towers is still here. So I'm going to play that for you. Headphone users, probably beware. Here you go. So yeah, that's kind of, that's a really big issue. Like, it's so weird. And this is another thing as well. I actually don't have it on the list, but the sound effects and the voice way overtake the music. And even if you lower the sound effects and the voices to kind of like be kind of even with the music is still really quiet. I feel like they have to make the music a bit louder. Like, I don't know why, just everything else just kind of overtakes the music. It's overpowering because of how much SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy talk, and all the different effects that happen whenever you blow up a Thunder Tiki, or you destroy a Duplicatron, anything. It's just so loud, and the music is really muffled in the background. And Battle for Bikini Bottom has really good music, so the fact that it's so muffled and quiet behind all the different sound effects that are going on is really unfortunate. So I think that's another thing they need to fix up.
Fresh like a spring breeze. Ow! Too pretty. Can't take it.
And the last point for Goo Lagoon is this is a major problem I've noticed like throughout the whole entire game, but I think this is a real prime example of how weird this is. the pop-in of things in this game. As you can see here, I'm dealing with a monsoon here, right? There's a monsoon over yonder, and probably gonna have a circle or something around it to show you where the monsoon is. And it's like, it's such a weird pop-in thing. You still see its shadow. You can see things moving out way further than that monsoon. I have no clue why that monsoon particularly is popping in and out, especially when you can see things further down the line. Like, I don't know, that's pop-in to me that is really, really distracting. There's some pop-in in Rehydrated that I can get over, but that is just overly distracting, in my personal opinion. I can't get over that. I'm sorry. I know some people are like, oh, pop-in will happen, whatever, but no, that to me, that's distracting. Like, I noticed it, and I immediately was like, okay, I have to get this to prove my point that the pop-in is bad. And, like, that's just one instance of it. It happens a lot in the game. It happens with tikis, robots, trees, textures, everything. And it's just like, I really hope they fix that up. Now, I don't know if this is just a Switch issue, or if this happens on other platforms as well, but I really want them to fix it. Okay, the next one is a really, really big one for me. We're heading to the Murmur Layer. Now, the Murmur Layer is the main level that utilizes the hell out of the Bubble Bowl. The Bubble Bowl is so heavily used in Murmur Layer to where it really points out its flaws. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you here is the sound effect issue with it. Now, the sound effects are really good on the Bubble Bowl, but if you hold the Bubble Bowl button down for too long, the sound effects just stop. They just decide, nah, I'm not going to hang out here, I'll just leave. Let me show you that. Because of the fact that you need to hold down the Bubble Bowl longer for a more impactful hit with the Bubble Bowl, that makes that inexcusable for me. Usually I'd be like, okay, just get around that by using like a short Bubble Bowl roll. But no, you need a big Bubble Bowl roll if you want it to have more power. So that makes that very ugh to me. Next up are the physics with it. Now I'm going to have a whole sizzle reel of different clips where the physics are a problem. But if there's a little protruding thing from the ground, like a stone or like a little lip, where the textures change or whatever, if the Bubble Bowl hits that, it'll either just pop or go flying. It doesn't just kind of continue on. And, I guess like in real life, I guess that's how that would work. But in a video game where a lot of your puzzles are designed around using the Bubble Bowl in that particular spot, no, just doesn't work. Let me show you guys some instances of where that is really, really bad.
There's nothing like the smell of...
So obviously there's literally a platform where there are rocks in front of where the Bubble Bowl needs to go, and if you use the Bubble Bowl behind those rocks, it's just ridiculous. And there's literally a line of tikis going up to an ARF robot where you're supposed to Bubble Bowl and hit the tiki so you can hit the ARF robot, but you can't even do that because of that little ledge that sends the Bubble Bowl flying. It's absolutely ridiculous. You need to improve the Bubble Bowl physics. I don't know how. You just gotta do it. Okay, this one's a relatively simple one. This one's not a really, really big one. It's just kind of like a why is this even a thing one. In Kelp Caves, you already know this one. For some reason, sometimes it'll start you off with 1 crystal, so once you get all the crystals in the cave, you end up with 7 out of 6. Why is this still a problem? This is such a small... This is where I really get angry. Like, this is such a small problem, right? This is a small problem that you think, okay, maybe I shouldn't even complain about it, but after 7 months of this game being out, and that little issue isn't fixed, like, that makes me wonder what they're doing to make this game better. Like, that little issue is not fixed at all. It kind of blows my mind, to be honest. Just fix it. Because to me, it just makes it look lazy. Like, not even that it's like a mind-blowing glitch. It just looks lazy that's not even fixed at this point. So, please get that fixed. Okay, the final boss. Here's another point, right? The final boss, this is all particularly the second phase of the final boss. Well, firstly, the first phase of the final boss, I didn't even think about getting this, but the karate thing, whenever he does the karate, he only says karate for the first one, and then anytime he says karate afterwards, there's nothing. They need to fix up that final boss fight, actually. The whole thing, now I'm thinking about it, it seems, I don't know, it seems off. Like, I didn't get footage for this one, so I'm gonna have to use some, like, stock footage. But the final boss fight, just, they need to fix that up.
This match is just about over.
But no, the particular part I'm really talking about is the second phase of the final boss battle. First of all, there's a weird glitch, or not even a glitch, but because of the checkpoint system that the final boss has, you could jump off from the starting platform, and then you'll end up near the end of the boss fight. I kid you not. Watch this. Yeah, so I literally just jumped off the starting platform, and I ended up right by the very last fuse to smash before going to the brain part. This is mind-blowing to me, right? That's just mind-blowing that you can advance that far in the final boss just by doing that. There's like no out of bounds, or there are out of bounds things, but it's just really, really weird. And that's because of the checkpoint system that the final boss brings. And to me, they shouldn't have checkpoints in the final boss. It's the final boss. It's supposed to be hard. The fact they offer the checkpoints, that's stupid. It's an accessibility change that I'm not a fan of. It's stupid. At least have the option to turn off checkpoints in the final boss. Like, that's ridiculous. But another problem I have with this also is, as you noticed in the clip, the fuse is already broken. The whole point of making the final boss replayable is that it's replayable. You can experience the whole boss fight again. But with the fuses being broken and the platform's already there, you don't have that. It's not replayable. So yes, the Spongebob phase of the boss fight is, Patrick is, and Sandy is, or I should say the Robot Patrick battle is, and the Robot Sandy battle is. But this part of the battle really isn't replayable. You just jump on the platforms, just make your merry way. Like, yes, you can still fight Robo-Plankton, but the battle itself isn't replayable. So, I don't know what to say. I didn't even think to test out, you know, like the shooting the rocket into the brain thing to see if the game would actually end, because if you don't 100% complete the game, and then you go back and actually decide to 100% complete the game later, like, that's an interesting point, actually. If I didn't 100% complete the game, and then I went back and 100%ed it, and then I went back to the Robot Plankton boss battle, would I actually be able to destroy the brain and actually get the 100% ending? Or would I still have to start up over with the whole, like, different file thing again? I don't know. To me, it's ridiculous. I know I went on a really long tangent about that one, but get rid of the checkpoints. And the last point I have to say here is obviously the Sand Mountain. Well, the Sand Mountain as a whole, it's inexcusably bad, right? The textures don't load, and like I said with the very first point, you go into Sand Mountain, it completely ruins the rest of the game. It completely, like, the textures just go, I don't even know what happens to them, but Sand Mountain literally ruins the whole game. Literally. And it's so unfortunate. And then you go in, like, here's some clips of me going down the slide on Guppy Mound, and it's just so choppy. And most of the slowdown comes around when you hit tikis. You know, whenever you hit tikis, it causes slowdown. That's fine, but, well, actually, really, it's not fine. But at the very end of the slide, this is an issue I face a lot, and I'm glad I got it on camera. Like I said, it slows down whenever you hit tikis, and sometimes you come to a stop, which is whatever, but literally at the end of the slide, you have to jump over gaps with tikis that you have to smash through. So when I try to smash through a tiki, and I hit it, and I just fall into the hole, like, it's just infuriating. That happened to me a lot on my, like, replay through before my review, and it really frustrated me. Like, come on, like, how do you mess this up? THQ Nordic, Purple Lab, you want to bring this game to mobile platforms. Fine, of course. But you still have versions of the game that are incomplete. You still have versions of the game that aren't great, that aren't good even. Like, you can't just say, oh, now we have this coming to mobile, when people who are playing the console versions that we got 7 months ago that some of us spent $300 on still don't have a polished experience. So now you're going to offer it to mobile players, which will probably run better than the Switch version, and the Switch version people are just like, we got duped. Like, literally, like, this is the only reason I'm this frustrated is because I only have the Switch version. You know, like, so many people tell me, get the Xbox version, get the PlayStation version, but the Switch is my platform of choice. and you're offering it on the Nintendo Switch. If you're not going to make the experience playable on the Nintendo Switch, why offer it on it in the first place? I get it. I would have been upset if they didn't offer it on the Nintendo Switch in the first place. You know, I've been like, oh, that sucks, not coming to Switch. But I would have gotten it on the Xbox either way. So it's just mind-blowing to me that it's been 7 months nearly that this game has been out. And I've been so optimistic, patiently waiting for some updates, some patches to make the Switch version as good as the other versions. It's the only version I have. It's the only version I play. It's frustrating, and it's honestly hindering my opinion on THQ Nordic and Purple Lamp. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. It's really even the smaller, like, you know, like, if the game still has issues with its performance and all that, fine. But it's a lot of these smaller issues that they haven't fixed, like the counter instance in Jellyfish Fields, like the crystals counter in Kelp Forest Caves or Kelp Caves. It's those little things that they still haven't fixed that infuriate me more. Like, yes, the performance, the graphics, the textures, horrible, yes. But it's those little things that they didn't fix, and this is probably across all platforms, that just makes me look at them and go, like, why aren't these little things fixed? Like, I get it if you're having trouble with the bigger things, but these little things aren't fixed. It makes Purple Lamp and THQ Nordic look lazy, in my personal opinion. And the last update only having a language when there are so many other issues that they really need to fix. Like, yes, that's great. They have a language for people. You know, for people, you know, it makes it more accessible to people, you know, in Central America. That's amazing. That's great. Not underplaying that. But the fact that there's so many other bugs and glitches that aren't addressed, and there's probably stuff in the game that I didn't talk about, hence why I told you guys to leave comments down below on what issues you guys have with the game, because these are just issues I've had, and I was able to record, you know, like, it's just crazy. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know today's video is a very negative video, a very, you know, ranty video, but it's getting to the point where the game's been out for 7 months, over half a year, right, and I'm still waiting for things to get fixed and things to be improved, and it's really unfortunate. So, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All the stuff down below. Hit that little notification bell so you're notified when I upload videos, and check out the merch store. There's some cool stuff up on there as well. And definitely thank you to my members of the channel, being Dominic and Brandon. Thank you guys so much for being members for the channel. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.